What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Bob Arum, aka the Bob Father, CEO of Top Rank Boxing, is critical of Deontay Wilder's boxing skills, but gives him credit for his right hand. He says, as far as his boxing skills go, he could teach a boxing clinic on how not to box. And he says that Deontay Wilder's boxing skills are horrible. Footwork is horrible. He doesn't know how to box. But he says he just gets accentuated by his right hand. And he knows how to land that right hand. He said that right hand is laser accurate, and he knows how to deliver that right hand. So the Bob Father is coming out making waves about Deontay Wilder's boxing skills. Now, I don't know how many fights Bob Father has watched of Deontay Wilder. I know he watched the Luis Ortiz fight because, he had a vested interest in that fight, the rematch, because if Wilder got through that fight, that was set in place the rematch with Tyson Fury. And if you watch the Luis King Kong Ortiz rematch, Wilder wasn't trying to box in that fight. He was trying to set the right hand up, and he really didn't do too much for the first 6 rounds. So if you watch that fight, you'd be like, oh, man, he can't box, man. He just landed that right hand, and that's it. But he didn't really set the jab up. He went to the body a little bit, but he didn't really try to throw the left hook or, do any kind of, setup. He was just basically waiting for that opening, and he found that opening, and he delivered that right hand and knocked him out. If you just watch that fight, you easily came to that conclusion. But I'm here to tell you that Deontay Wilder can box, and he's shown that in the first Bermane-Stiverne fight. That's the first fight. That's the first and only fight that went the distance in Deontay Wilder's boxing career, as he showed a beautiful jab in that fight. Beautiful jab. He did a good job of throwing the right hand, throwing the left hook, going to the body, showing a good range, controlling the distance, keeping Bermane-Stiverne on the end of his jab. He showed good boxing ability. So if you watch that fight, you know that Deontay Wilder can box. Now, he hasn't shown that in his last 2 fights. I give critics of his boxing skills credit on that, if they just watch those 2 fights, because Deontay Wilder Fury, the first fight, he was in a seek and destroy mindset. He didn't throw too many jabs at all. He was basically loading up on that right hand, and he was looping the right hand too much. And he finally was able to catch Fury in that 12th round, actually with a left hook. There, as Fury had pretty much took away the right hand all night, and he was able to get the left hook off, and then on the way to the canvas, hit him with the right hand. Now, in the other knockdown, the first one, he was able to catch him with a right hand, but that was a right hand that clipped Fury on the top of the head, and he was able to knock down Fury. But if you watch that fight, you would say, Wilder can't box, because his footwork was bad in that fight. He was pretty much loading up on his punches, and his footwork actually, his bad footwork actually let Fury know when he was about to throw the right hand, as he was moving his feet in a certain way to let Fury know that the right hand was coming. That's why Fury was able to make a miss outside of those 2 rounds all night. So that's just what it is, man. So if you watch those 2 fights, his last 2 fights, I can see how you come to that conclusion. But if you look at Wilder's fight with Bermane-Stiverne, I thought he boxed. I thought he fought Duhaupas. That's a fight where he got kind of blooded up in that fight. I thought he boxed pretty good at times in that fight. When he fought Spilker, that fight went about 8-9 rounds, and he showed a good straight right hand in that fight. He's able to catch him with a good shot that he didn't see, as Spilker was in the process of throwing a hook, and he came right up under the hook with a straight right hand. So that's a very great timing. So that's a technical aspect of boxing. And in the first, not the first fight, but the first round knockout of Dominic Breazeale, beautiful jab and then right hand, beautiful 1-2 punch. So that was one of the best 1-2 punches that you're going to see in boxing, man. He threw a beautiful jab to kind of blind. Well, I ain't gonna say blind. He threw a beautiful jab that connected, and then came right over the top of Breazeale as he was coming forward, man. Just a textbook right hand. So he showed technical skill in that fight. So it's just a matter of what fight you're looking at. The guy shown that he can box. Now, it'd be a different thing if he was just out here swinging for the fences every round and catching guys and knocking them out and really ain't showing nothing else. But he showed in those fights that I just mentioned that he can box. So I have to disagree with Bob Arum on that front, though. But if Bob Arum, I don't know how many fights if he watched Deontay Wilder. If you watch the last 2 fights and you know, and you come to that conclusion, I can see, you know, watching his last 2 fights. But if you watch the totality of Deontay Wilder's career, he's had fights where he showed his boxing skills. So it's just you just gotta wonder with the right hand he dropped Luis Ortiz at. He was able to land that right hand and get Luis Ortiz out of there in a rematch. Will Deontay Wilder come into the fight with Fury fighting the same type of way? Will he come in there saying, well, you know, just looking for that one opening where he can land that right hand and give away rounds to Fury, or will he actually come in there and try to box? Because, you know, Deontay Wilder always says, my opponent has to be perfect for 12 rounds. I don't have to be perfect but for 2 seconds. So that's the mantra he's been living by his last couple of fights, man. But I think in this rematch with Fury, man, he's got to come out and set the jab, set up the right hand in a fight similar to what he fought in the first Bermane-Stavern fight, but look to throw that straight right hand like it was able to deliver in the Dominique Brazil fight and in the Luis Ortiz rematch. You know, combine those boxing skills with the deadly accuracy of the right hand that he was able to land in his last 2 fights. So if he does that, I think he'll come out on top against Tyson Fury. But the ball fathers out here making waves, saying that Deontay Wilder is a horrible boxer. Footwork is horrible. He says, but he got one punch knockout power for which the likes that I have never seen in boxing. So he does give him credit on that front. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires in the rematch. Can't wait. Somebody's going to be made out of liar February 22nd, because you got those people thinking Fury is going to box circles around Deontay Wilder, and then you got the people that think Deontay Wilder is going to knock Tyson Fury smooth the fuck out in a highlight reel type of fashion. So we're going to see what happens, man. As I've kind of noticed here recently, Wilder is pretty much gone underground. You can tell he's really focused on this fight, man, and he's not doing a lot of talking. He's letting Fury run his mouth, you know, cash that check and see if his ass can cash. And he's basically don't want to do no press conference, and he just really want to get ready for the fight, man. He said, you know, he wants to be training, and get in tip-top shape, which he's always is, and get focused on the task at hand, man. So we'll see what Wilder has to say probably at the press conference, you know, the week of the fight. That's when he'll probably do most of his talking, man. But right now he's in a warrior type mode, man, warrior type training, and he's ready to get this fight done and conquer Fury, because he actually really wanted this fight after the first fight, but Fury was negotiating with him and his team, but at the last minute slid out the side door and got a deal with ESPN, signed a deal with ESPN and Bob Arum, and then fought two bums, people that we never heard of. I ain't gonna say 2 bums, but 2 nobodies. I actually like Otto Wilder. I actually think he is a solid contender, man. Wouldn't mind seeing him fight. I think he's in the running for the Dillian White fight. I think he's one of the 3 candidates they mentioned for Dillian White. Otto Wilder, Alexander Povetkin. They've been talking about that fight for about a year. Povetkin, White. And who else? Andy Ruiz. So those are 3 candidates. So hopefully he'll get another big fight, man, because he put on a hell of a performance against Fury. Gave Fury a much tougher fight than people expected. So we'll see what happens, man. This is JB Sports. The man, the myth, the legend. Leave your comments in the comment section if you think Wilder is a good boxer, or if you think he's nothing but a one-trick pony that's relying on the right hand to win fights. Okay, and just leave your comments in the comment section. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. Holla.